installed. 150 grand is what I'm told. And it comes down, it's like a periscope that goes down. And it basically reads the area around you out to several football fields, out to several 100 feet deep. So, do the fish really have a chance anymore? And it's really an interesting thing, because you would think because you buy a sonar or you buy something that's this expensive that you could automatically go out and catch a fish with it. But the truth is, even the boat I was on was a merit boat called Hope, Captain Andy Peace. And Andy Peace and I we're old timers now, but we started back in the day when we lure fished. So we spent a lot of time lure fishing in the Bahamas, searching for the one big mama. We wanted to catch the biggest fish. Nowadays, a lot of the younger crews, a lot of the young guys, and guys like me that have made the transition to light tackle marlin angling, where they've, if you got 15 rods in the cockpit, you got anything from a 20 up to an 80-pound outfit for a pitch. And it's a little overwhelming sometimes looking at all the rods. But back to the sonar, what was interesting when I walked to the dock looking at it, you'd go by a boat and they both had sonars with 6 130s. They were there for the big fish. But right next to it, there was a boat with 12 to 14 light tackle rods. So they were in a different mindset. They weren't there for the kill, they were there for the numbers. But the sonar itself, which basically gives you the ability to see something, they really came out a couple years ago in the Gulf, and the guys who honed their skills on reading the sonar to mark a fish down 200 feet, 100 feet, a blue marlin, and sit there live baiting it, waiting for it to come up. This is what's happening now in modern day sonar fishing. Guys going to the oil rigs trying to find that one mark, that one fish that's sitting there that they can catch possibly an hour from now or 3 hours when that fish pops up. So there's guys around the globe, Gulf of Mexico, that are really good at this sonar fishing. But the truth of it is, after spending time with one guy, his name is Brian Speedy. He's from Stewart. It's a guy I fished with on a boat called the Georgie Girl. And I said, "What are you doing over here, Brian?" We had dinner. We're sitting up there the first day. He says, "Oh, I'm a hired gun." I said, "What are you, hired gun for what?" He said, all I do is sit and read the sonar. Do nothing. But this guy's a captain. He said, "Yeah, but I don't need, people hire me to come sit and mess with this sonar." So I'm sitting with the captain prior to going out. And he said, "I'll tell you what, RJ, we have the sonar, but I haven't really spent any time looking at it or understanding it, because there's a lot of buttons, that obviously range, it goes up and down, side to side, depth, all of those things." He said, and so when we got out there, he was on the phone talking to another captain about, okay, is my setting right if I do this, and so there's a lot that actually went into this. Now, what was interesting for me is I remember going to Ocean City 6-8 months ago, and I was fishing with Ronnie Fields. Ronnie Fields, the Fields boys out of Ocean City, and there's Jimmy Fields. These guys are stone cold slayers. He was reading the sonar. He was dealing with the squid chains. There's certain guys that have done it enough that get it, that I call freaks of nature. He's one of those guys where there's no time off. It's everything's, he's looking here, he's looking there, he's looking back, he's looking here, he's looking there, he's looking back, he's looking, and it's almost like, and I remember seeing him at night, he was like zoned out but he was able to deal with all of that instrumental stuff, in addition to shaking grass off a teaser, looking back behind squid chains to find a fish. That's not normal. And what it really made me feel was Ronnie Fields is a freak of nature. The rest of us are going to learn the way normal people learn. I'm going to do this a lot. I'm going to do it a lot. And then I'm going to really concentrate on what I'm doing to get better at it. So we went out, we started messing the second day of this tournament with it. We marked a fish. And then we tried to stay with the fish, and we couldn't really stay with the fish, telling me that there's a huge learning curve here. And I was watching these guys. I wasn't saying anything, I'm watching it. So really, the guys in the Gulf of Mexico, the guys who were doing this, the local guys that are really good at sonar fishing, what I would say to you is this. I would highly recommend hiring them after meeting Brian Speedy at this tournament. Have a guy that sits there all day and all his job is the sonar. Think about it for a second. If I'm a captain and I'm running a boat, man, I want to look at what's in front of me. Oh, there's some birds over here. Oh, wait, I got, weed on the squid chain. Oh, there's a fish behind my left teaser. I can't be zoned in here. And so with what you're seeing these days, the best crews really have a guy that's designated for that. And a couple interesting comments that I heard, and this is just my overview of what I saw. If you have a hired gun, whether that's 500 a day, 600 a day, these $1 million boats, that doesn't, at the end of the day, it's worth it. Especially when you hear at the end during the course of the day that they caught 3 fish, and then I'm having dinner with the guy that marked all 3 of them, and they were going left when the fish were over to the right. Is there a huge advantage to a sonar? 100%. There's no question. Pay a guy to sit there and do the sonar. That's number one. Number two, I said to myself, gosh, how easy is it getting now where I can just mark something and wait till it comes up? And the guy made a comment to me. He says, especially for the guys that go to Costa Rica. He said, yeah, Costa Rica is one of the hardest spots to do that at. I said, what are you talking about? It's filled with fish. There's sailfish, blue marlin. He goes, problem in Costa Rica, there's a lot of turtles and there's a lot of manta rays. And I'm like, what does that mean? He goes, well, a marlin marks like a manta ray and a turtle marks like a sailfish, or vice versa, or whatever. And it got me thinking, wow, I never really thought of that. You know, when you're so marlin driven in your mind, I'm fishing for marlin, everything on the screen's a marlin. Untrue. Are you marking a turtle? Are you gonna get over by a rig and mark a manta ray and sit on it and waste time thinking it's a marlin? So it's interesting, guys who are really good at it, again, will tell you, it's not just the way it marks, it's the speed it's moving. It's now it's the speed that it's moving on the sonar and how it's marking every time the repetition that comes around. So there is an art to this. This isn't just about, oh, that's a marlin, assuming that. If you were in Dominican Republic where you were fishing fads, and for the most part everything there is a marlin, that's a place you could really kind of hone your skills as well. So I'm learning, I'm watching guys learning, and I'm watching, and I know if I was an owner of a big boat right now, I would specifically have to get a guy to come down and watch the sonar. And I would happily pay to have a guy sit there and let me know that there's a fish 100 yards off the starboard side, 150 feet down. And what's happening, these crew and these captains are let their anglers know, we got a fish coming up, watch your left side or your right side. Imagine the difference of what this is giving to the angler, where all of a sudden now they're ready, holding a rod, knowing a fish is coming. It's a different level of being prepared. And so again, sonar fishing, huge thing. If you need somebody to do that, you can reach out to us. We know guys in the industry that do that, and we have a lot of customers that outfit boats for these tournaments. So if you need a guy to sit and read the sonar, reach out to us, let us know. And if there's something else in terms of this film and you might be good at it, let us know. We're here. I want to hear, because I take all this stuff in. It's not just the settings. It's not just this. It's not just that. How are they doing it? Why are they doing it the way they're doing it? Spending the 100 grand or whatever to put it in your boat, that's just the beginning. Now it's about learning. And a couple years from now, guys are going to be so much better at it. So reach out to us. I think it was a cool thing that I saw. If you guys are marlin fishing guys, Obviously a must if you're tournament fishing.
Mr. Rastaman, do they believe you? Smoke. Roots. Smoke.